Okay, Richard, do you want to come up and do the capital program report, please?
Cool. Kia ora, everybody. I'm filling in for Andrew, who has winged his way across to the UK for 4 weeks leave. Just want to highlight a couple of things in the capital program performance report. We adjusted, first of all, the overall forecast pretty much to match the project manager's forecast at 405, 405 million for the core program delivery this year. So that's up from our previous sort of aiming point forecast of 390 million. It would appear on today's numbers that we're doing very well towards that target, and we've already spent 400 million on the capital program this year. So we're well within reach of that 405, and there's a good chance of exceeding it, actually. Of the 100 million that we were effectively delivering this month, we've got 53 out of the 60 for the core program, and we've got about 20 million out of the 40 million forecasted for Te Kaha. So that adds up to the 100 million that we're forecasting for this month. Otherwise, the other projects, so Matatiki and the Court Theatre Performing Arts, are doing really well. Three Waters and Transport are performing well against their year-end budgets and should have quite a strong finish. So that's good news on that front. I guess the only other points to notice within the report that although some of the pressures and risks that are there with global supply chains and resource constraints are tight, we're working to manage those risks going into the new year as we flick over at the end of the month into next year's program, which you just approved yesterday. Great, thanks, Anne.
Great, thank you, Richard, and welcome along, Paul, as well. Does anyone, or Tyler, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool. Do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, just referring back to the, I'm just trying to pull it up. The performance report, item 7, and it says deliver non-key projects at 77% with the target of 85. Can you talk to me on why it would be 77, and is that close to last year's KPI results?
Cool, yeah, thanks, Tyler. So we have two major figures within the capital program. The one that gets the most attention, of course, is how we're delivering against our total budget, but we also have the milestone target as well. And so that one there is measured against setting a baseline for delivery of the projects and then measuring against that baseline. We've got a target for the watchlist projects, and then we've got another target for the non-watchlist projects. Last year we were at about 84% for the non-watchlist projects against a service delivery level aiming point of 85%, so we almost made our target. This year that one's dropped back to, like you say, in the mid-70s or mid to high 70s. So that's disappointing, but that aligns with the pressures that the projects have been under from the global supply chain, from resource constraints. So when you see a drop in delivery, it's not surprising that we see that slight softening against the baseline measurement. So it's another focus for the new year to get that delivery milestone metric back up to where it needs to be.
Great, Andre.
Thank you. The Ngā Punawai car park for the Netzel Centre says here completion December 2023. Am I right in understanding that's opening in stages?
Pass you across to Andrew for that one.
Sorry, so your question was, is it opening in stages?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Netzel Centre's on track as
It's not 100% confirmed, but the building itself and the car parking that's required under the consent to open the building will be completed first. We're progressing the entire project currently. The only thing that will the determining factor will be what weather we face over the upcoming months.
Yeah.
So the building will be functional and operational and open in a manner that meets its consent, and then the additional car parking that we're doing that was really to address the, I guess, the historic concerns will be completed.
So what parking is required for the consent?
Off the top of my head, it was about 123 or 4 car parks.
So an additional 123 car parks will be open by the time the Netzel Centre
At the
opens.
same time the building opens.
Okay, and that's all the consent required. Gotcha. But then the remainder is expected to be completed by Christmas.
Correct.
That's what you're saying. Okay, cool. The Wigram Hayton intersection. When will we see options? Do you know? And will they go to community board first?
Sorry, I wouldn't be able to answer that detail. We'd need Lynette for that one. And
Can we just take that as an Can we just take that as an action to come back to Andre on?
Yep,
Thank you very
that'd be
much.
great.
Great, thank you. Tim, and then Mark, then Yanni. Yep.
Thank you. I've asked this before, and I brought it up in the informal with Lynn and the chair. Could we have Te Kaha and Parakori separated when we're reporting on them? Because one is ours, which is our responsibility, and the other one, for want of a better term, we are a partner of, which we have very little control of. So if that's possible, because one is well and truly over budget and behind time, and I don't think it's,
Yeah, no, that's right. So Parakaiori will separate out. The council's payments actually are actually completing this year at the end of this financial year. So there's actually very little financial commitment going forward for the council. But you can see on page 79 on the watch list, obviously we have the projects separated out. So page 79 has Te Kaha, and page 80 has Parakaiori there, with our other major vertical delivery with Hornby and Performing Arts. So, but we'll separate it out at the beginning of the report as well into the new year.
Yeah, because on page 46, I mean, it's reported as Parakori and Te Kaha.
Yeah, that's right. We'll correct that
yeah.
going into the new year for you.
Okay, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Great, thank you. Mark.
Thank you. This might be one for Lynette, I suspect. I'm just wanting to try and get a bit of an understanding of where the Kiwi Rail relationship is at. And it seems to be causing a lot of grief on a lot of projects. And is it something that is in train and is about to be fixed, or is it something that's going to take a heck of a long time?
In train, nice. Given we've been talking about it for a number of years, it's probably going to take a long time to work through, and we are working through it. I believe you've had an update on where we're at with a number of projects via memo, but I'll have to come back and do that separately.
Yep.
If it hasn't, then I'll check out where we are. We'll give you an update via memo.
Another action out of that, which Victoria had asked for, was around the whole sort of strategy with actually dealing with Kiwi Rail.
Yeah.
So it would be good to get an update on where that's at as well.
Yep, I can do that
Cool.
separately.
Is anything we as elected members can help
Yeah.
in getting that sorted? We're
Yeah, I
really
mean, it's
keen to
getting pretty
get that
expensive.
moving.
Yeah. Great, thank you, Mark. Yanni.
Thank you. Several questions. Just in regards to Te Kaha and Parakaiori, do we know which one's going to be open first? Like,
That's
I
right,
guess
exactly. How
'cause-
much money do you want to put on it?
yeah, I mean, I kind of think probably Te Kaha will be open first. But in a more serious aspect, I mean, I was really lucky to go and hang out with the Special Olympics basketball team, and I know we've got the Special Olympics games coming in 2025. I'm increasingly concerned that Parakaiori will not be ready in time to host the games. Do we have an update on when Parakaiori will be actually open and able to be used? Given, like, in the report, it said we had a date, but subsequently they've the Australian
Yes.
company went.
So good point. I think maybe what we should do in this is formally request the chief executive of Otaka Road, the new name escapes me. Yeah, to come along, because we used to have John come along to finance performance or to a briefing and
Yeah.
explain it. So
I
good,
think the
good
problem
point.
when we get the briefing, we don't really get told when the opening's going to be or what the current
Yeah.
forecast is. We tend to get a lot of stuff. It's in negotiation with the contractor.
Yeah,
we don't
well,
get told.
let's get them in.
But-
Let's get them in.
Actually, we had been given 2 dates, and they've both gone. So what's,
Yeah.
So, but could we, I mean, more at a kind of high level in terms of events that we've got coming and risk, do we have a sort of contingency plan if it's not ready, or do we know what events that we're likely to lose out on?
Yeah, I'm obviously looking around the room for Nigel or Mary,
Yeah.
but
I think it's something
I
we'll-
think
we'll-
Sam's suggestion
Yeah.
to that one.
So
is
we'll get
probably
the
way
chief
forward.
executive in, but I think also I've seen the Lynn nodding away. We'll take that other pointer as well. So
And Mr. Chairman, maybe that's part of the briefing or the heads up that we're going to have with this.
And I think the other thing we've got
all right, so
outstanding.
let's not.
Yeah,
let's
no,
not
I
dwell
won't dwell
that
on
one.
it. The other thing we've got outstanding for those of us who went on the visit was to get a sense of how much it's actually going to cost for people to use. So, because obviously,
So we'll
Yeah, so
we'll
that
get
could
them
be
in.
just
I
wrapped
think
in.
that's the best
Yeah.
best way. Okay,
on
what's
page
the next question?
75, and James will probably back me up on this, but the digital citizen experience identity platform service, overall red status, and this is kind of like how I guess people interact with our technology. And I see that we're supposed to get some of that complete by July 2023. Is that on track? Is that I'm just trying to understand that whole customer service interface that we've been asking for a very long time, and now it's being flagged as red, which is concerning. So, are we getting a briefing on that, or is there anything we can do to get an understanding of what's gone wrong?
Councillor, I can update you on a couple of things. First of all, I'm sitting on a memo which has been deferred because of the annual plan. So there should be an update coming within the next 48 hours as to where we're at with implementation for the Hybris customer notification piece. The digital customer experience program is much the light of our overall digital portfolio. So we're working with the new CIO to make sure that the plans going forward are fit for purpose and able to be delivered, and that they are very clear in terms of the investment that we need to make. So that will be reported to Council as part of the long-term plan joint development process.
Great, thank you.
Okay,
Have you got
just-
another question?
Yeah, I do. Just the sorry, just to find the page, but basically the MCR that goes along the tannery. I'm just trying to. Sorry, I can't find the page, but just concerned that it's been delayed, but we don't seem to be getting start work notices or notices
So
saying.
Yanni, which page are you on?
Why
Just
delayed?
so the team can know where they're looking.
I'll just, so it's just the cycleways, and it's on page 62. So this is the Heathcote Expressway, Tannery to Martindale's. Construction continues with sections behind the Tannery and Cumnor Terrace being open. Final completion expected in July. I think the original date was February. But regardless, I'm just wondering what comms is going out, letting people know what's happening, because it just seems like the orange sign on the road just gets
All right, so
scribbled out.
you've asked a question.
Yeah.
Is it
I'll have to come back separately. Sorry.
okay? So can you come back to
Yeah,
Yanni?
I'll come
Is
back
anyone
to
else
Yanni
interested in
directly.
seeing that answer?
Well, it was raised in the briefing we had around the cycleways.
No,
remember?
Yanni, I'm asking a question. Not that's fine.
I've just got a question into OCE for an update on it that I sent in a week or two ago.
Okay. Well, can you just
So
do
I'll
you want to
follow
just
back
circulate
and it'll
something
get
around
circulated
everyone?
by
Yeah.
ICA.
And it was raised at the briefing.
Yep. No, get that. Okay.
Okay.
Phil's got a question.
Yeah, I'll come back on that.
Just to sort of back up what you're talking about, Paracore, I went for a,
Do you want to just? I just want questions at the moment. If you want to just maybe do that at the end.
no, just to clarify. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
To help
Because I
Yanni's
think Pauline's
question.
got a question. Great, Pauline.
Okay, thank you. The Section 70-day service delivery review for the curbside service enhancement, when is that due? Has it been completed and just been processed, or does anyone know, or can we find out? Oh, sorry, it's page 64. The
Sorry,
curbside-
Count.
Curbside service enhancement, Section 17A review.
I can give you an update on that one separately as well. Sorry.
And can I just note that the Bexley closed landfill foreshore remediation project is complete, and that's really good news. Thank you. Remember that one?
Great. Okay. Phil had something to add, and then we're going to move this on. Phil, we're going to talk about Paracore. Oh, very briefly. Yeah.
I went for my own tour through Ars Paracore with the new CEO. He is very keen to come down and talk to us. I asked him the pointed questions and he answered all of them. I said, where's your problem areas? What's this? What's that? It's a lot more progress than what you think. They have had a problem in one corner, but that is certainly fixed and well fixed. The ground had settled, the building had not, which I had been There was a lot of Chinese whispers going around, but he's more than happy to come down and tell us what's going on. Probably a quarter of all the car parks are done. There's a lot more happening. It's a lot further ahead than what we're probably led to believe through the media. So he's very happy to come down and have a yarn to us and get us up to speed. Thank you.
Brilliant, thank you. Yanni.
Oh, sorry, just one really quick question. On page 90, I see that the bus priority scheme design for Ferry Road is 70% of the budget spent. Is the designs complete, or how do we get visibility of the actual designs? I'm just mindful that our board had a presentation on all the surf projects, and there didn't seem to be capacity for bus priority through the intersections.
Computer's not working.
No.
Page 90.
Yeah. So it's the bus priority scheme design Ferry Road.
Oh, the craft one.
Yeah.
That is just scheme design. It is scoping work, is my understanding. But again, I'll come back. I'll add that to the list to come back in the memo tomorrow.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, I'm happy to move this. Phil's happy to second it. Any discussion? Yanni?
Yeah, just I think, I appreciate the detail that staff have given us. I just wanted to commend staff for drawing attention to a number of the risks, particularly around cost escalation. And I just wanted to make the point that I've raised sort of over the last 3 years, is we know costs are blowing out all over the place, but I still don't get a sense of what projects we're actually not going to do because of the increased cost. And it seems like we just keep getting, the costs have gone up, so we still do what we're committed to, even though the costs are going through the roof. And I do wonder at what point we actually look and say, that's the budget for the project. You need to revise the scope and design it down to meet the budget, which is kind of what we did with Linwood Pool, right? Which is kind of a sensible approach. So I just wondered, I wonder how my colleagues feel. I mean, the information report is really good, but you can see that we've got a massive financial challenge on most of the projects in here. And I just wonder, keep wondering when we're actually going to deal with, not just finding additional money repeatedly to increase project budgets, but actually look at revising the scope so that we can stay within budget. The other thing is, I just wanted to acknowledge the reporting around the craft and the surf. It is really good finally to get some visibility of what's happening. And I think the key thing now is ensuring that the community understand the interrelationship between all of those projects. But I just wanted to acknowledge that we've got a good dashboard now to understand and track how those projects are progressing, which I appreciate.
Great. Thanks, Yanni. Did you want to say something, Mark?
Yeah, I just wanted to, briefly raise my concern, and you've heard it before, about the Kiwi Rail relationship that's interfering with so many of our transport projects. And really would love to see us as a council find a way to once and for all fix this, whether we need to have Phil go and knock on some doors in Wellington and chief executives and ministers and high-level people have a chat to try and iron out what's going on and how we can fix it, so that we can stop having these delays and cost blowouts on so many of our projects, let alone the fact that when we have in Hornby a traffic pole that was knocked out in Easter last year, so it's over a year ago, and we've had it under temperature management for all of that time, and every day just about every Hornbyite goes past that intersection and that set of cones, and we'd really love to have them fixed and repaired, but we're being told continually that it's Kiwi Rail. So I really would love to see us find a way to work through this as a council and get Kiwi Rail sorted out.
Put the motion. All in favour? Against? That's carried. Thank you both very much.